For the people out there who are new to this field, could you give like a brief description of like what VC even is and maybe how early stage VC might differ from late stage VC?
Venture capital is like part of like the financial system, and it's a group of funds and just people who basically say, we're going to go collect a lot of money from wealthy people like Mark Zuckerberg or from universities like Stanford. Institutions, exactly. Yeah. And we're going to take that money and then we're going to invest it into people who have really good ideas and who are building really early stage companies. You don't really have a ton of data points. Oftentimes it's like pre-product, pre-revenue, but that's sort of like the stage at which we come in and the sort of mindset of the bets that we take. I define early stage as like pre-seed seed. That's just what I do. That definition might change, but you can think about like, let's say under like $5 million a check. And so what we, I think as venture capitalists do in that stage is think, okay, who are amazing people with really great ideas that have the ability to both like change the world and, you know, make potentially like, let's say $1 billion or like a 10x return on this check that I give you. And so that's the sort of framing. The whole point of venture capital is to like return money. But I think the secret sauce is these venture capitalists are basically arguing that they understand the people side of things and they understand the tech side of things and the business side of things at the early stage much better than any institution could sort of do themselves. Which is why they're like, that's why you should give me your money rather than like Stanford, go invest in like every single student that comes out of GSB.
Totally. Each partner argues that they have a very specific thesis, like how they see the world, how they see this space evolving. And that's their own secret sauce as to why they are a great investor. Not only do they have relationships with startup founders, but they also have a specialty or an expertise in the space.
Later stage investing, and I'll call it growth, is kind of the stage after. So when a company has revenue and when they're thinking about becoming profitable or maybe are already profitable, that's when the growth stage investors come in, and they have a very different skill set. They're super comfortable looking at Excels and modeling out, okay, this is currently how the business makes money based on a platitude of things from like where we think the market is going. Do we think that they have a way to consistently, you know, get these sales and go to market? Do we think that they're going to be expanding into a new geography or like maybe a new product area? They get to then take this view of what do we need to believe about the future state of the world and like this company and these financials, and it's called like the what must we believe test in order for this company to make like a 5x return on investment, for example. And so that's, I think, the framing that they use to then look at all these models, and you really have to get deep with the numbers. And then that's when you do a ton of like expert calls. For example, my one growth experience was looking at a fintech startup in an emerging market. And so we called all these like American competitors, but then we also called all of these competitors in that geography who were adjacent or directly competitive and being like, okay, how do you go to market? What is it like to actually, you know, set up systems where you're converting like cash to like mobile money? And so it's a very different sort of diligence because you have way more data points.
For early stage versus growth stage, different skill sets required.
Absolutely.
And potentially different interests too.
I think so, yeah. I think if you're someone who like loves getting to know people and likes thinking about like where's the world going in terms of what technologies or what like markets or what trends, I think early stage probably is a better fit. But if you're like, yeah, I want to get like deep in the weeds with the numbers, I don't think early stage is going to be a good fit because there are no numbers.
Free product, free revenue.
Yeah, so definitely think about like what keeps you up at night and like where your curiosities are. And if it's Excel, I would not do early stage.
Makes sense.